Hello again, this is Alex Chavez with NS Corporation, bringing to you another helpful how-to video. In this video we're discussing the 3000 series machines. These are bus wash systems. They're for big transit vehicles. Our 3000 series machine is the baby sister of the 5M series machine. You'll notice that what we're going to talk about right now is bearing adjustment for your contact pressure against the vehicle and bearing maintenance. So we're looking at the passenger side arm, which is the longer arm. Here's our lower bearing, our upper bearing. If we want to adjust contact pressure against the vehicle, optimal penetration, and that means how much that brush is sinking into the body of the vehicle from the tips of the material, brush material, anywhere from 4 to 6 inches, okay? So we want about 4 to 6 inches of penetration into the body of the vehicle. Now we accomplish that by setting the amount of pressure that we put against that vehicle, okay? We're looking, this is our equipment center line. Here's where our bumpers are. This is our lower bearing on the passenger side. So the more we adjust this bearing in this direction, the more pressure we're going to have against the vehicle. So what we want to do right now, as you can see, it's a little bit, it looks kind of centered. You always want to have the top bearing in the middle, centered in between those two plates, tightened down. And if you want to adjust the brush pressure, what you're going to want to do is go in here and hold the bolts, loosen them off, right? Once you loosen these bolts off, then you can come in, just loosen them off a little bit. You know, you don't want to take them all the way off where the bearing falls. Be careful of that. What you want to do is loosen off these nuts, the locking nut, and then you can tighten this bolt to push the bearing over this way or that direction, okay? If you're going to push that way, you want to make sure to loosen this guy off and back it out so you can push this bearing that way. If I push this bearing that way, what is that going to do? It's going to give me less contact pressure. It's going to be less aggressive on the body of the vehicle. So now what I want to do is I'm going to come this way. See? I'm going to give it about 1/8 of an inch gap right there. I'm going to loosen off my other bolt. Oops, wrong way. See, the weight of the arm right now pushed it right up against the bolt. I didn't even have to use this guy. Now there's a gap here 1/8. Because the arm's already leaning that way, it slid the bearing over. Now, if I think that was too much, I could always come over here and with this guy, start pushing the bearing over, right? Correct? I'm pushing the bearing over little by little that way. Then I get where I want. I'm gonna lock this guy into place too. Put a little contact pressure against that. Now I'm gonna go back in here and tighten up my bearing bolt. I want to make sure these are nice and tight, okay? Now that my bearing is to the position that I want in respects to contact pressure against the vehicle body, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to tighten down this lock nut to jam it in. You know, it's my little jam nut right here. Make sure to do the other side as well. Now we're locked in. Bearing can't move, so there's your adjustment. Okay, very easy to do on your transit systems. Now, lubrication on this bearing right here, you notice that this arm barely moves about 30 degrees side to side. These are bearings that can do up to 5,000 RPM, you know, or higher, but we're only cycling the bearing this much. So what we want to do is we want to pump grease into this at least once a month. Once a month is key. Come up here, put a dab of grease. You might see a little bit of grease that comes out through here. Any excess grease you always want to wipe off. If any grease comes out, it's going to push out any old stuff, right? You just want to pump in a little bit of grease. 1 squirt a month. When the machine is brand new, the bearing's already pre-packed. So once a month, come up here and give it 1 squirt. 1 squirt per bearing. 1 stroke of that grease gun. 1. You have a total of 2 bearings per arm, 2 arms, 4 bearings. That would also go for any other arms that you might have down the machine, right? Anything that's on top of this machine. So that covers the brush adjustment, click on the link below and you'll see a video of before and after the adjustment. That video will show a car wash operation, but the principle is exactly the same. Camber adjustment. You adjust this bearing. The further out you go away from center line, the heavier that brush arm gets, the more penetration. The closer you go to center line, the less pressure you're going to have, and the lighter that brush is going to be, less penetration. Okay? People might think, well, the more, if I get 10 inches of penetration, I'm going to clean better. Not necessarily. You're actually going to create more pressure around mirrors, around running lights, things of that nature. Plus, you're going to wear out your brushes faster, right? So all we want is about 4 inches, that much. 4 to maybe 6. That window right there is key. That's going to give us a nice clean bust all the way around, no excess penetration. Brushes are going to last longer, but maintenance is key. Lubricate components, change bumpers, clean motor end caps. You'll see that in other videos. But again, click on the link below for the how-to video on how to adjust the brushes even further, and it'll also show you a before and after simulation of those brushes. Thank you and have a great day.